Welcome to Fitzy's Fabulous Scrapbooks. I'm Michelle Fitzgerald, aka Fitzy, and I'm an independent advisor for Creative Memories Scrapbooking, and I'm here to help you make your scrapbooks fabulous. So you may notice a slightly different background here. After all of the crazy events that I did over the past month, my scrap area was a complete and utter disaster. You couldn't even walk in the room. My poor husband, I did feel bad for him. So I literally yesterday spent pretty much from about 10 o'clock in the morning till almost 2 o'clock in the morning organizing and cleaning and getting everything back to normal. Thankfully, now I can find things. It's so nice. So anyway, this is my new view and I hope you like it. All right. So today I have something fun to try out. This is something that I've kind of had in my head, and it's going back a couple of weeks to when I showed that weaving. It's weaving again, but on a different part of the page, maybe doing it a little differently. So you'll see my little twist to it. So let me just get down to my workspace so we can get right to it. And here we are. So these are the papers I'm going to be using today if you want to play along. These are from the Seaside collection, and I don't need full sheets except for one base page. That should be a full sheet. But I'm just using little scraps of whatever I have. And the idea is you can use a couple of busy patterns and it will look fine. This is a great layout to use one of those busy patterns that you never know what to do with. And as you can see, I have a couple of busy ones here. I've got this one. I've got the seashell one, which I feel like when you have these busy patterns, less is more, right? The old saying. So you want like 5 different papers that will coordinate well together. And these are all from Seaside. And this is my base piece here, which is also from Seaside. So I'm going to lift this and show you what's underneath. I hope you like it. Ta-da! So this is what we're going to create, not this exact page because I'm using different papers. Now, this was all from the Wide Open Places collection. And I was looking through all my paper collections and all my organizing yesterday and realized I haven't done a whole lot with this collection. And it's got some really great papers in there. And for those of you who know me well, notice how there's no blue here. Except for maybe a photo mat. All right, so there is some blue in the mat, but everything else is, reds, browns, orangey, green tones, no blue. Aren't you proud of me? All right, so this is a fun one to create, and the punch I used here was wildflowers. So the punch I'm going to be using with Seaside is called Fairgrounds. All right. You're going to need your 12-inch trimmer and your repositionable tape runner. You're going to want a pencil or a pen and a ruler because we're just going to make some markings. And I always have my multi-purpose tool and my micro tip scissors handy. You never know when you're going to need these 2 tools, and they are fabulous tools, and I like to always have them handy. All right, so I'm going to put my papers to the side for just a moment. And let's see here. All right, so I'm going to put this, well, maybe I can put it up here, but you can't see it, but at least I can while we go. And now I just have to find my base page again. And here it is. Now, the reason I started this whole weaving thing a few weeks ago is with our trimmer, we have the ability to go right into the middle of a piece of paper and cut. And I love that. And I guess, you know, I've done it a little bit, but now I'm thinking like that just gives us so many things that we can do that maybe I hadn't really thought about before. So what I'm going to do, this is the side that's going to be facing up. So I'm going to turn this paper over and I'm going to put my trimmer to the side for a minute. And I'm just going to put the paper in one of my mats, nice and snug. Now, if you notice on this here, I didn't want to start this too low because I want to make sure that the paper has a little bit of stability. So I think I started my cuts around the one. Oh, wait, I had that too low. Yeah, around the 1 inch mark. All right. So I'm going to take my ruler, and this can just be a regular ruler. It doesn't need to be a 0 centering ruler. And I'm going to take a black pen because we're doing this on the back side of the paper. You know, it is possible that you could get a second side using the back side, especially if you use the top loading pocket pages. You could do a design on both sides. But that is not my plan for this one in particular. So I'm going to use the black pen so it's easy for me to see where I'm going to need to cut. And basically, I'm going to put a mark. So I have my ruler lined up at the 1 inch mark from the bottom. And now over here, I'm going to go to the 2 inch mark and make a little mark. So my first mark is all of my marks will be at the 1 inch above the bottom of the page. And then I'm going to go across, and every 2 inches, make a mark. So one at 2 inches, one at 4 inches, one at 6 inches, one at 8 inches, and one at 10 inches. So you'll have 5 marks. Then I'm going to take my ruler up to the 3.5 inch mark. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. So 5 marks at 2 inch increments, starting with 2 inches and then 4 inches and 6 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. All right. So I don't know if you can see these. Oops, my pen just fell, but that's okay. I don't think I need it anymore. But just so you can see those little black dots, that's all I'm doing, just putting little black dots on. All right. And now those little black dots are going to help me line things up on my trimmer. Now, this is the trickiest part. Once you get through this, it's pretty smooth sailing. All right. Now, these little guides here, there's one at the top and there's one at the bottom. We're going to be using the bottom one. And these are going to help us make sure that we're cutting from point to point. And for this particular layout, it's kind of important. It's not like a huge deal if you're a little off, but you want to try to be as precise as you can. And so if you look at this little bar here, there's a ruler on it. And I want to make sure, show this way. You want to make sure that this white line right here lines up on the 8.5 inch line on this bar. Okay. And the way I do that if you've heard me before say this, I'm sorry for the repetition, but sometimes repetition is good. But from this white line to the bottom of the housing unit is 1 inch. And from the white line to the top is 1 inch. So when lining things up, if I take the bottom of my carriage and line it up at the 9.5 inch mark, I know that my white line is now on the 8.5 inch mark. Now my bottom mark here is at the 11 inch mark. And if I want the white line to go to that 11 inch mark, I need the bottom of my carriage to go all the way to 12 inches. So once I'm lined up with the bottom of the carriage at the 9.5 inch mark, I'm going to push this bottom all the way to 12 inches. And I'm going to do that for each set of marks going down the page. All right. So I just want to make sure I am lined up at the 9.5 inch mark. All right. And look at that. Now, if you go a little bit over, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt your layout. You'll be good. It's scrapbooking. There's nothing to stress over, right? All right. Whoops. I love using my multi-purpose tool to get these little guides out of their starting point, because sometimes they're a little tricky to get at. And the multi-purpose tool is very helpful with that. So the big thing is just lining those dots up on the cut line. And this guide really helps you to do that. And then the bottom of the carriage goes to the 9.5 inch mark and to the 12 inch mark. All right. And now we're going to go on to our third set. So see what I mean? It gets, you know, pretty simple as you go. All right. So my son just came home today to celebrate his 24th birthday with his girlfriend. And I made a birthday cake from scratch, but it's gluten-free. And I have to be honest, I was so nervous. I was afraid it wasn't going to stay together when it came out of the pan, but it did. It's safely out on a nice little platter, and it came out in one piece. I was really excited. All right, so I'm putting the bottom of my carriage to the 9.5 inch mark, and I'm going all the way to the 12 inch mark with the bottom of the carriage. And I have 2 more to do. And again, we're just lining these dots up on the cut line. And the little guide here, it really helps you see, because sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh, that's on. And then when I take the guide, I realize how off I was. So thank goodness they have these little guides. They're a godsend, I have to say. So bottom of the carriage at the 9.5 inch mark, and we're going to the 12 inch mark. And now we're on our last one. And I think I have to be over just a little. No, just a little bit off. These guides are a lifesaver. I'm curious, how many people knew that these guides even existed? I'm just curious. Put it in the comments if you knew about them already, or if this is the first time you've heard about them. All right, so now I have my lines all made, my little slots. So now we have an easy way to weave. So now I did this ahead of time just to help the video go a little quicker, but you're just going to want to cut 6 1/2-inch strips. All right, that's all you need. Pick out the patterns you want, and you just need 6. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, let me just move the trimmer out of here. I'm going to take my first strip, and this is not going to be part of the weave. It's just more of a decorative element. And I'm just going to put some tape runner on, and I'm using repositionable because I know for this kind of layout, sometimes you just need your repo. So I'm just going to put this first 1/2 inch strip on the bottom of the page. So it's just going to go flush against the bottom. And I'm just taking my time to make sure I'm lining it up and have it nice and straight. And I think I did a pretty good job with that. All right, now I'm going to take my 5 remaining strips and just kind of lie them out, decide what sides I want and where I want them to go. And I feel like all right. So the first one I'm going to do, and now this is a preference. You can either start by going in, and I think I did it the opposite way the last time, I think. So I'm going to start. And we're just going over and under, or under and over, depending. So every other one will be over and under, and every other one will be under and over. And it just gives you a really cool effect. All right, so here's one. And here's our second one. So I'm going to go under this time. And so you just, every opposite one, you're going to mix it up and do the opposite of the one you did before. And you just want to kind of push it down once you have it woven. So you can kind of keep them close together. And then you go to the next one. This to me is very relaxing. And, you know, because I was up so late last night, I'm very organized, but I'm very tired. It's nice to be able to find everything again, though. I was really struggling there trying to find everything I needed when I needed it. And for those of you who know me well, I'm not using much blue this time. Aren't you impressed with me? All right. There's that little song, right? Go in and out the window. I'll start singing for you. All right. So that's strip number 4. And here's our last strip, which is my little stripes. And this one needs to go over. It's a little trickier with the last strip because things are getting a little tighter now. So you just want to be careful because you don't want to tear the paper. this one down a little bit more. There we go. That little piece is stubborn, but I got it. There we go. All right. So now if you're playing along, you should have something that looks pretty much like this. All right. So now I'm going to take my tape runner and I'm going to secure my ends. I think I'll start with this one because this is the top layer here. And I just want to make sure it comes to the edge. So as you can see, this one comes together pretty quickly. And then I'm just going to go to the other side and do the same thing. So I'm kind of pulling on the bottom and the top just to make sure that they're extended as far as they can go from side to side. And then I'm going to flip it. Ooh, and even this side looks pretty too. It's a little busy because the base part on this side is a little busy, but that turned out pretty. I don't know if you can really notice it on the video, but it looks really nice in person. And just two more. All righty, so let's turn it. Isn't that fun? Look at that. All right, now I'm going to take my Fairgrounds punch and I'm thinking I'm going to use this red paper. So this is the same paper here, but I kind of feel like this will make it a little more fun and help everything kind of stand out a bit. I love this Fairground punch. It's kind of versatile. I'm going to show you. You've probably seen people do this before, but I'm just going to, oops, let me just get this through first. All right, so we have this. So I'm going to take my scissors and just cut off all the little Ferris wheels. When I think of Seaside, this makes me think of Maine. So I don't want the Ferris wheels on it. I just want it to feel like big, beautiful homes on the coast, right? All right, so now we have something that looks like this. So I'm just going to bring my trimmer back here for a minute. And actually, you know what? I think I might cut off these little flags too. But this would make a really cool sandcastle, right? Wouldn't that be cool? But I'm going to cut off these little flags. All right. And now I'm going to line this up. I don't need it to be too wide, so I'm going to line it up at 1 3/4 of an inch. So the tips, the very top is at 1 3/4 of an inch, the top of that little roof line there. And now I'm going to put this here like so. And then I just need, I'm not sure what color. What color would make that? I feel like a gray would really be cool. So let me just get a piece of cardstock, maybe some charcoal. Let's see. Here we go. Yep, gray will do it. So I'm going to go back to my trimmer for a sec. And I'm just going to cut like 1/8 of an inch. It's amazing what a small little detail like this will do for a page. So I'm just going to cut to get 1/8 of an inch, or approximately. I just line my paper up to the second cut line that's to the right. See those two lines? I'm lining that paper up to the second line to the right. All right. And now let's see how it goes. Look at that little detail, just makes all the difference, doesn't it? How cute is that? And that's it. I mean, that's a fun little layout. And I was able to get 3 photos. You could definitely make a 2-page spread out of this. Let me just wipe some of my scraps away here, and I'll put these side by side. Look at that. I was in a red mood today, huh? I didn't even realize. I'm like, oh, I've been going to red all day. But isn't that a fun little layout? So my 2 photo mats, the mats up here are 4.5 by 6.5. So I have 4 by 6 photos. And then this mat here is 4 by 6. So I did 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 for this photo. Okay. So you could easily get 3 photos. Maybe you want to do circular or oval photos. So you might be able to get 1 or 2 more in there. But definitely take some time and have some fun weaving. I love weaving. It's so much fun, isn't it? So let me come back up to me. Hold on. Here we go. Yay. Yeah, so that's my layout for today. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. You can always reach me on my email at fitzy'sfabulousscrapbooks@gmail.com. We're always looking to have people join our Facebook group. Our group is FRQ Glitz Girls, and all you have to do is answer a couple of questions questions, just so we know you're a real person and not a scammer, and we'll let you in. It's really simple. I actually had somebody reach out to me this week who decided she wanted to sign on under me, and she did. And I'm so excited to welcome her to our group. And I would love to welcome anyone else who's looking to jump on board. We're a happy, merry little group. And the more the merrier. So if you're interested, feel free to contact me. You can Facebook message me or email me. I'd be happy to just have a conversation, if nothing else, just to see if it's something you're looking to do. Okay. You can always look for product on my website at www.creativememories.com/user/Michelle Fitz. And you can always use the clickable link in the description. I have actually figured out how to do that now. And that was because my friend Izzy told me, she kept reminding me, Michelle, get your clickable link there, get your clickable link. And I finally did it. So thank you for the motivation, Izzy. And I just wanted to share with you too. I am, I think, around 870 subscribers. I started my channel back on April 10th of last year. So I'm hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers by this April 10th. So when I get there, I'm planning to have a fun little contest and prize thing and all that. So please feel free to forward my videos, share my videos with anyone you want. The more people who see the video, the more subscribers I'll probably get, and the more I can do to show you how to create awesome pages for your albums. All right. And hopefully give you more tips and tricks and about the tools you have, or maybe help you decide whether or not you want something. That's what it's all about. All right. Well, I just want to thank you all again for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my little layout, and I'll be back same time, same place, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you'll be there too. Have a great week, everybody, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.